In Starlight Bay City, the gap between the rich and the poor has long solidified into an unbreakable class barrier. The upper-class elites of this city firmly believe that occupation and clothing determine a person's lifetime value. Those who work physical labor, run street stalls, and engage in grassroots service industries are labeled as low-class, ignorant, and inferior, destined to be looked down upon and trampled on by wealthy people. The wealthy families, business elites, and social celebrities here indulge in luxurious banquets, high-end social parties, and noble dinner gatherings, taking pride in their superior status and sneering at every ordinary grassroots worker struggling for life. The most prestigious and authoritative luxury venue in Starlight Bay City is the Royal Star Grand Hotel, a top 5-star international hotel that undertakes all the city's top business banquets, celebrity charity dinners, wealthy wedding ceremonies, and elite social summits. The hotel has a super high entry threshold. Ordinary people are not qualified to step into the lobby, let alone attend the core internal banquets. Every inch of land in the hotel represents the highest standard of luxury and status in the city. Being invited to the Royal Star Grand Hotel's exclusive elite banquet is regarded as the supreme honor by all local businessmen and social celebrities. The annual Top 100 Entrepreneurs Elite Banquet held by Royal Star Grand Hotel is the most grand business event in the whole city. All participants are outstanding enterprise founders, listed company executives, wealthy family heirs, and top industry investors. The entire banquet scene is luxurious and magnificent, with top delicacies, limited luxury wine, high-end etiquette service, and elegant live music. In the eyes of all guests and hotel staff, this is a pure upper-class feast that has nothing to do with grassroots workers, street vendors, and ordinary poor people. My name is Shinhan, and I am the sole shareholder, absolute controlling owner, and founder of the Royal Star Grand Hotel Group. This top 5-star luxury hotel that dominates the city's high-end catering and hospitality industry, as well as dozens of chain luxury hotels, high-end business centers, and commercial real estate projects under my name, constitute my huge business empire. My personal net worth exceeds billions of dollars, and I hold the absolute decision-making power over all the hotel's operation, personnel employment, banquet approval, and industry resource allocation. All the senior hotel executives, professional managers, and elite service teams work for me. All the wealthy entrepreneurs and social celebrities who are proud of their status try their best to curry favor with the hotel management just to get a qualified invitation letter for the elite banquet. The prosperity and reputation of Royal Star Grand Hotel are all created by my personal investment and layout. I have been tired of the false flattery and utilitarian snobbery of the upper class for a long time. Since I was young, I have been surrounded by endless compliments and fawning from businessmen and celebrities. Everyone respects me only for my wealth and status, with no sincere interpersonal feelings. In order to perceive the most authentic human nature and experience the most ordinary life, I chose to completely hide my identity, abandon all luxury privileges, and disguise myself as an ordinary street food vendor. Every day, I push a simple food cart to set up a stall near the downtown business district, selling affordable traditional snacks for ordinary passers-by. I wear cheap plain clothes, wash my hands repeatedly to keep my stall clean, and treat every customer sincerely. I never show off my wealth, never mention my identity, and keep the lowest profile in the crowd. I just want to live a simple and down-to-earth life and stay away from the impetuous and vain elite circle. I have endured all kinds of strange looks and occasional discrimination from others for a long time. Some people look down on my street vendor occupation and think I am mediocre and incompetent. But I never care about these trivial prejudices, and I think every legitimate occupation relying on hard work is worthy of respect, and there is no high or low distinction in labor. However, my tolerance and low-key did not bring me peace. On the day of the city's top entrepreneur elite banquet, I suffered the most ridiculous and humiliating public insult from the hotel staff and arrogant elite guests. Hashtag the climax of humiliation, public insult, and expulsion at the top elite banquet. On the day of the Top 100 Entrepreneurs Elite Banquet, the entire Royal Star Grand Hotel was fully decorated. The crystal dome ceilings sparkled with brilliant lights. The luxurious European-style corridors were lined with precious flower arrangements and art decorations, and the huge banquet hall was full of glamorous elites. All the guests dressed in custom high-end suits and designer gowns, wearing famous watches and limited jewelry, gathered to talk about business cooperation and industry trends, exuding a superior elite atmosphere. As the absolute owner of the hotel, I originally planned to simply inspect the banquet operation situation after closing my street stall. I did not intend to attend the banquet or participate in elite socializing. I just wanted to take a casual look at the on-site service and venue management conditions to understand the daily operation status of my hotel. Therefore, I did not change my clothes deliberately. I still wore my usual plain stall clothes, with a little fine flour dust on my cuffs that I did not have time to clean. I walked into the hotel lobby casually, intending to patrol the banquet hall quietly. But as soon as I stepped into the hotel gate, I was stopped rudely by the hotel's chief lobby manager. Lee W.E.'d. Li Wei is a typical snobbish workplace manager. He is good at currying favor with wealthy guests and bullying grassroots workers. He usually fawns on every elite guest with a servile attitude, but treats ordinary people extremely harshly and arrogantly. Li Wei looked me up and down rudely. After seeing my ordinary clothes and the faint dust on my body, he immediately confirmed that I was a low-class street vendor who wanted to sneak into the hotel to rub benefits or make trouble. His face instantly turned cold, and he blocked my way domineeringly with undisguised disgust and ridicule in his eyes. Stop right there. This is the Royal Star Grand Hotel, the venue for the city's top entrepreneur elite banquet. It's not a roadside food market. How dare a street food vendor like you break in casually? His sharp voice immediately attracted the attention of many security guards and passing banquet guests. Everyone's eyes gathered on me, full of strange inquiry and subtle contempt. I frowned slightly and explained calmly, "I just come in to take a look. I won't disturb the banquet order." "Take a look?" Li Wei burst into harsh laughter, extremely arrogant and ridiculous. "Do you know how high the grade of today's banquet is? All the people here are billion-level entrepreneurs and upper-class celebrities. You, a street vendor who sells snacks on the roadside, also want to watch the elite banquet. Do you deserve it?" At this moment, a gorgeously dressed couple walked over slowly. The man is Zhang Qinyu, the young president of a local well-known investment company, one of the core guests of today's elite banquet. The woman is his fiancée, Lin Wan, a famous socialite in the city who is keen on showing off her elite status and discriminating against grassroots workers. After seeing the conflict at the gate, Zhang Qinyu and Lin Wan stopped deliberately. They looked at me with disdain from head to toe, their eyes full of strong superiority and ridicule. Lin Wan covered her mouth and laughed sarcastically, her tone sharp and mean. "Honey, look at this person. He's dressed so shabbily, and he even has dust on his clothes. He must be a roadside snack seller. How can such a low-class person appear in our top luxury hotel? It's really ruining the mood of the elite banquet." Zhang Qinyu nodded in agreement, his face full of arrogance. Now the social order is really chaotic. Any poor street vendor dares to break into the upper-class banquet venue. Do you know how much the per capita consumption of this banquet is? It's enough for you to set up a street stall for a whole year. A group of accompanying enterprise executives and celebrity friends also gathered around, echoing their ridicule and scrupulously, completely ignoring my dignity. It's really shameless. A street vendor wants to mix into the elite circle. It's simply delusional. Look at his dusty appearance. It's dirtying the hotel's luxurious environment. Hurry up and drive him out. Don't let this low-class person affect the experience of our elite guests. Faced with the siege and public ridicule of the whole crowd, I still maintained my calm attitude. I have long been used to the superficial prejudice of these people who judge people by their occupation and appearance. I looked at Li Wei and said indifferently, "I have the qualification to enter this hotel. Let me pass." This sentence completely angered Li Wei and the group of elite guests. Li Wei's face turned ferocious, and he pointed at my nose and scolded loudly. Qualification. What qualifications do you have? Do you have an elite banquet invitation letter? Do you have enterprise status certification? Do you have wealth and status? Nothing. You only have a dirty stall and a mediocre life. Zhang Chenyu sneered and took out a stack of cash from his wallet, threw it casually on the ground in front of me, and said condescendingly, with extreme insult, "I'll give you this money. Take your hard-earned money and leave immediately. Don't linger here and disgust us. A street vendor like you is born inferior and is never qualified to step into the upper-class venue for a lifetime." Lin Wan added sarcastically, "Kneel down and pick up the money. This is the alms from us elites to you. It's your greatest honor to get our charity." The surrounding crowd burst into loud laughter. Everyone stared at me, waiting for me to kneel down to pick up the money, waiting for me to be humiliated and driven out, becoming the biggest laughingstock of the top elite banquet. Li Wei took the opportunity to wave his hand and order the security guards on the scene. "Drive him out immediately, remember him. From today on, this street vendor is permanently prohibited from entering any branched venue of Royal Star Hotel. Never let this low-class person pollute our elite venue again." Two tall security guards immediately stepped forward, rudely grabbed my arm, and forced me to walk out of the hotel gate. Their movements were rough and arrogant, and the whole process was watched by hundreds of elite guests. All the ridicule, insult, and discrimination fell on me unscrupulously. I have always adhered to the principle of being kind to others and being down to earth in life. I tolerate the prejudice of others, respect every occupation, and never take the initiative to conflict with anyone, but these people are insatiable. They rely on their trivial wealth and false elite status to arbitrarily trample on the dignity of grassroots workers, insult others' legitimate occupations, and use alms to humiliate others. Their snobbery and arrogance have completely touched my bottom line. Since they are so obsessed with class discrimination, so arrogant because of petty wealth, and so good at bullying low-key ordinary people, I will completely crush their false superiority with absolute strength today, let them know what real top status is, and make them pay a heavy price for their ignorant humiliation. Hashtag explosive full identity reversal. The humiliated street vendor is the hotel's supreme owner. Just as the security guards were about to drag me out of the hotel gate in full view of the public, I shook off their rough hands forcefully, stood firmly in place, and my originally calm eyes turned cold and sharp. I took out my exclusive Supreme shareholder access card from my pocket. This card is the highest level privilege certificate of the Royal Star Hotel Group, which only I, the sole owner, hold. It has no gorgeous appearance, but it represents the absolute supreme authority of the entire hotel group, surpassing all banquet invitation letters, guest privileges, and management authorities. I held the card calmly and looked at the stunned Li Wei and the arrogant elite crowd, my voice cold and powerful, resounding throughout the entire hotel lobby. "You say I have no qualification to enter? You ban me from entering the hotel for life. You think street vendors are low class and deserve to be humiliated at will." Seeing the ordinary card in my hand, Li Wei laughed wildly again, looking at me like a clown. "What broken card are you taking out? Do you think a random fake card can bluff us? Hurry up and get out, or I'll let the security guards drag you away and hand you over to the police." Zhang Chenyu and Lin Wan also sneered repeatedly, full of disdain. "This poor guy is really crazy. He dares to take out a fake card to pretend to be powerful in front of us elites. It's really ridiculous." Just as they were rampant and mocking unscrupulously, a burst of rapid and neat footsteps came from the hotel's exclusive VIP passage. A group of top senior executives in high-end custom suits rushed over quickly. The leading person is Qin Hao, the general manager of Royal Star Grand Hotel Group, the highest professional manager of the entire hotel chain, who is in charge of all hotel operation, management, and personnel deployment. Usually aloof and dignified, General Manager Qin Hao, who is respected by all entrepreneurs and celebrities, now had a face full of extreme panic and fear. He ignored all the top elite guests present and rushed straight to me at the fastest speed. Under the stunned gaze of hundreds of banquet guests, General Manager Cheen House stopped in front of me, bent his waist deeply at 90 degrees, bowed respectfully, and shouted in a trembling and reverent voice that resounded through the entire hotel lobby and banquet hall. Respected President Shen, all senior management staff of Royal Star Hotel Group are reporting to you. We are extremely guilty and sorry for the serious insult and unfair treatment you have suffered in our hotel.
Boom.
The entire luxury hotel scene completely exploded into earth-shaking uproar. All the elite entrepreneurs, social celebrities, hotel staff, and security guards present were completely petrified on the spot, their brains blank and their minds shocked to the extreme. Li Wei's whole body trembled violently. His legs went weak, and he knelt on the ground with a plop. The arrogant smile on his face completely disappeared, replaced by endless horror and despair. Cold sweat soaked through his entire uniform, and he couldn't even stand stably. Zhang Chenyu and Lin Wan's faces turned pale as paper in an instant. The stack of cash they threw on the ground became extremely ridiculous. The superior elite status they were proud of was completely shattered in an instant. They stared wide-eyed at the scene in front of them, completely unable to accept this incredible fact. The group of surrounding elite guests and enterprise executives were all stunned. They looked at the ordinary dressed me in disbelief, and then looked at the respectfully bowing general manager and senior executives, and finally realized the truth that shocked everyone. General Manager Cheen House stood up straight, took out the group's highest-level shareholder asset certification and identity file with both hands, and publicly announced to all the stunned guests in a loud and solemn tone. I solemnly announce to all guests present today, Mr. Shen Han is the sole founder, 100% controlling shareholder, and supreme president of Royal Star Grand Hotel Group. All the hotel's real estate assets, venue resources, banquet qualification rights, personnel management rights, and brand operating rights are all privately owned by President Shen. This top-level elite banquet that you are attending now is held in President Shen's private venue with his private investment. All the elite guest privileges, high-end services, and luxurious environments you enjoy are all created by President Shen alone. Every staff member present, including all senior executives and managers, work for President Shen. These words were like a thunderclap exploding in everyone's ears, completely crushing all their superficial cognition and snobbish prejudice. Everyone finally woke up completely. The lowly street vendor they just ridiculed, insulted, and expelled was the real boss behind this top 5-star hotel. The trivial elite status they were proud of was just the qualification granted by my venue. The hotel manager who flattered them and humiliated me was just an employee I paid. The cash they threw on the ground to insult me was not even a drop in the bucket compared to my huge assets. I stood calmly in the center of the lobby, my cold eyes sweeping over the terrified crowd, and my powerful voice resounded throughout the entire hotel. You divide classes by occupation, judge dignity by wealth, and bully grassroots workers with your false elite status. You think street vendors are low class and unworthy of respect, but you don't know that every laborer who relies on their own hands to make a living is nobler than you snobbish people who bully the weak. I wear ordinary clothes and set up a street stall not because I am poor, but because I disdain the false vanity of your elite circle. I own this entire luxury hotel empire, but I still respect every legitimate occupation and every hardworking labor. You enjoy the luxury venue I provide, accept the high-end services my team creates, but in turn humiliate my identity and trample on the dignity of grassroots workers. Your ignorance and ingratitude are the biggest jokes of this elite banquet. Every word was sonorous and powerful, hitting the hearts of everyone present hard, making all the previous ridicule and insult of the crowd extremely embarrassing and ridiculous. Hashtag Zero Mercy thorough counterattack and desperate ending. After recovering from the extreme shock, Li Wei knelt on the ground and kowtowed repeatedly, tears streaming down his face, begging for mercy hoarsely. President Shen, I'm wrong. I'm blind and snobbish. I don't know your noble identity. I derelict my duty, insulted you arbitrarily, and committed an unforgivable mistake. Please forgive me. Don't fire me, I beg you. Zhang Chenyu and Lin Wan also collapsed to their knees in panic, their glamorous faces full of desperate regret. They trembled all over and kowtowed repeatedly, begging bitterly. President Shen, we are guilty. We are superficial and arrogant. We shouldn't have humiliated you and discriminated against grassroots workers. Please spare us and our company. We will never dare again. The group of surrounding elite guests who had echoed the ridicule also lowered their heads deeply, their faces full of shame and fear, not daring to make a sound. They knew that they had offended the city's top tycoon, and their future business development and elite social status were completely ruined. I looked at the kneeling crowd indifferently, without the slightest pity in my eyes. All their endings were self-inflicted. I have always respected every occupation and every hardworking person, but these people rely on their trivial wealth to discriminate against others, trample on others' dignity, and treat kindness as inferiority. No one who is snobbish and bullies the weak is worthy of forgiveness. I turned my eyes to General Manager Qin Hao and gave my cold and decisive order without any hesitation. First, immediately dismiss Li Wei on the spot, permanently blacklist him in all industrial branches of the group, prohibit him from engaging in any management and service work in the high-end hotel industry nationwide for life, and completely ruin his career future. Second, permanently cancel Zhang Chenyu and Lin Wan's all hotel membership privileges, elite banquet qualification, and venue use rights. Blacklist them and their company permanently, prohibit them from participating in any business activities and elite summits held by all venues under my group for life. Third, completely cut off all business cooperation, resource docking, and investment connection between Zhang Chenyu's investment company and all enterprises under my group. Issue a citywide industry risk announcement. Notify all cooperative enterprises to terminate all cooperation with his company, completely break his capital chain, and make his company go bankrupt within 3 working days. Fourth, comprehensively rectify the hotel staff work style and service concept. Completely eliminate the snobbish atmosphere of discriminating against guests by appearance and occupation. Conduct full staff retraining and take respect for every labor and every guest as the core service tenet. Fifth, publicly release a hotel industry initiative, advocate equal occupation values, resist class discrimination, and call on all industry practitioners to respect grassroots workers and legal labor occupations. Sixth, cancel the exclusive elite threshold of the hotel banquet activities, appropriately open public welfare venues for grassroots labor model commendations and ordinary industry exchanges, and let the high-end venue built by labor wealth feed back to ordinary laborers. Execute all orders immediately. Yes, strictly implement all President Shen's instructions. General Manager Qin Hao and all senior executives bowed respectfully and responded loudly without the slightest delay. In an instant, Li Wei lost his job completely and was blocked from the entire high-end hotel industry, doomed to struggle at the bottom forever. Zhang Chenyu's investment company collapsed overnight, with no room for turnaround. He and Lin Wan completely lost all elite social qualifications and business resources, becoming the biggest laughingstock of the city's upper-class circle forever. The entire Royal Star Hotel completed a comprehensive atmosphere rectification. All staff completely abandoned their snobbish discrimination concept, no longer judged people by appearance and occupation, and truly practiced equal and respectful service. The distorted elite class atmosphere that had lasted for many years was completely eradicated. All the elite guests present learned a profound lesson. They finally understood that wealth and status are never the standard to judge a person's dignity, and occupation has no high or low distinction. Every hardworking laborer deserves equal respect. I glanced indifferently at the desperate and regretful crowd on the ground, turned around calmly, and walked into the luxurious banquet hall under the respectful escort of all senior executives. The originally arrogant elite guests took the initiative to make way, bowing their heads respectfully, filled with endless awe and shame. Real wealth is never the capital to bully others, and real status is never the privilege to discriminate against the weak. I choose to be an ordinary street vendor because I love down-to-earth labor and hate false vanity. I hide my identity because I disdain to use wealth to elevate myself, not because I am mediocre and inferior. Those who are trapped in superficial class prejudice rely on petty wealth to show off their superiority, and trample on the dignity of ordinary laborers will eventually be crushed by the real strength they can never touch and pay a painful price for their snobbery and ignorance. Kindness has edges and tolerance has bottom lines, and why low-key simplicity is my respect for life and labor, but never the capital for others to insult and trample on me arbitrarily. Anyone who discriminates against labor and bullies the weak will surely bear the irreversible consequences of their own mistakes.